talk today about some old bonsai trees that I've known for many, many years. And I want to introduce you to my friend Stephen Kane, who I've known since 1984. And we've done a lot of bonsai together. We used to go collecting in the woods in Wales, collecting beech trees mainly. And we've made a lot of bonsai over the years. Today he's brought some old bonsai friends with him that I've known since the last 30 or more years, and I would like to talk about how these bonsai have developed over that period. Let me begin by showing you this beautiful cryptomeria. This is a literati of sorts, but it's been created in such a beautiful style. It's still nice after about 34 or 33 years.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And I will talk about the options for this tree. But let me go to the three maples that we have here, because they are the subject of a lot of interest. Now this is a forest group, and Stephen tells me that when he bought it more than 30 years ago, it was a little group. You can see the original pot. The original pot was only here, and the forest was only a short forest of, was it
24 trees.
24 trees.
Roughly.
About no more than
that high.
Yeah, not even 30 centimeter high. So this was the original height of the forest, 24 trees. Of course, the height is now, this is more like 60 centimeters now, at least. And the trees have become older. Some of the trees have died because if you don't separate the trees, they will eventually go. So this one is already dead, but Stephen is keeping it because it still looks okay. But just earlier on, we took out a dead tree. So it is still looking very nice. And this tree has got many possibilities. You can use this as the front, or you can use this as the front. What I would like to talk about is that because the group is so old, that if you keep pruning them, you get these knobbly bits growing. So you've got to be a bit careful when you have these very old maples. And you notice that some of the branches have become very thick. So with maples, to keep them looking in proportion, you don't want branches which are too thick. Ideally, you want branches which are thin like this to be in proportion to the thickness of the trunk. So we may need to deal with some of these. The point I want to talk about regarding this forest group is that this forest group has been the, I would say, the father or mother of many other maples. If I show you this maple here, this beautiful triple trunk, tell me something about this, Stephen.
That triple trunk was air-layered from something like this. There was this group here, for example, this branch. It was a similar branch to that I air-layered, tiny like this, planted it in a pot and then put it in the soil and left it for 4 or 5 years to develop. And this is what I got out of it. I was lucky with the root structure.
So this is produced in what, 20 years?
Yes.
20 years from a tiny air layering.
Like this.
Thinner than the small finger.
Yeah.
And this is a triple trunk created from that.
It'd be a tiny air layering like this branch here, this little bit from my finger to the top. That's how small it was. And I ended up with this beautiful thing.